But we're from a little town called Neoga, Illinois. I mean, it's a little bitty town. And at the time, I remember the sign had 307 people. And I remember we had family all over town. But out Trowbridge Road was on our way to your grandparents' farm. And so, what was all that? Tell me a little bit about what the farm was, as far as you can remember.
Well, my grandfather worked for the railroad his whole life, and he farmed, and he leased out most of his farm to another farmer. His name was George Shoemaker. He farmed, he didn't make shoes. I never understood that when I was growing up. But Grandpa lived on a 4 acre farm, probably a mile northeast of Neoga, Illinois. We would ride our bikes out to that farm and just hang out on the farm on weekends and ride our bikes back into town, just back and forth all the time. And the farm was great. It was our escape from everything. You could just go out there and be free. Had all kinds of animals. They had sheep, 1,000 cats, so they didn't have a mouse problem. But it was great. We were free. I think that's what made us feel free our whole lives, is that we never had restrictions ever. You just go do your thing, but don't get in trouble. And we didn't get in trouble when we were kids, but it was great. I miss that farm. There's a barn up there. We'd go up into the hay loft and jump out of it. I think we almost caught it on fire a couple times because we picked I think you did that. We picked tomatoes and green beans and stuff, put them in a can, and we were cooking vegetables in this can behind the barn, and the fire got out of control. And we got it out.
I don't know anything you're talking about. I don't know. I wasn't there.
You don't remember that?
I wasn't there. This is crazy talk. This is the HE. This is what happens when you have a liver transplant.
That didn't happen.
Didn't
When
happen,
Grandpa
man.
Grandpa took me out the back behind the barn. He saw where the burn mark was, and he just looked down at it, and he looked up at me, and I just went, and he just laughed. He was just glad we didn't burn the barn down.
Do you remember when we did burn the barn down? Remember that? Remember
We
when they
did.
collapsed the whole thing and they put all the gasoline in the big
Barn was that? That
that
wasn't that
barn
barn.
that no
No,
it was no it was that barn. It was on that property. It was right before we had to sell the property and they moved into town.
I think that was the property next to it because his brother owned that. Because I went there a couple years ago, and that barn's still there. I think that was the barn in the
So
property next to it.
what was the barn that we burned down then?
That was like the farm next to that.
Okay.
I think it
But
was that barn.
do you remember that day?
No,
Well,
I
I do.
don't.
Okay. All right. So what else do we remember? Okay. So how about playing Vikings or swords and whatever we were with the cookie sheets? Remember that story?
Oh, our other brother Greg would grab this round cookie sheet, and we would like duct tape it to his arm, and it was his shield. And we'd have these survey laths that our dad actually made into swords for us to beat the shit out of each other with, which we did. But I think he did that because he would rather have us fight with those swords than whipping each other with those weeping willow limbs. So
But
he put those for us. So Greg would have this shield, and he would say, "Just throw dirt clods at me," and we'd go to the field and grab these huge dirt clods and chuck them at our brother Greg, and he'd block away like this, then put his sword up like this. There's one time he puts his shield up like this to hide his face. I chucked a dirt clod that he didn't know was on its way, and he looks up at it and bam!